Namaste, Hotep, Shalom Alaikum, peace. This is Tracy Lene Muhammad, and I'm just going to take a few minutes of your very valuable and your very precious time to share with you some meditation thoughts I had earlier when dealing with releasing and letting go of things that no longer serve you. One of the main reasons to release is so that you can come to the present moment and see how wonderful and magnificent life is for you in the now. Relationships are the biggest catalyst to keeping us stuck in the past when something goes terribly wrong in a relationship, or we watch it go wrong. We know who the person is, but we refuse to see them for who they are. They've communicated with us time and time again. They are not going to be honest, faithful, loyal, true, not even kind. But there's something in us that keeps triggering going back to that person. One of the things that I think happens for us, and speaking from when that was my situation, is we think that that's the only person on the planet and that nobody else will ever even think about us. We say, oh, well, nobody will ever love me like such and such. But if you really thought about it, such and such doesn't love you. So it's good that nobody will ever love you like that, because you deserve better than that. If you start to look at it like that and start to say, you know, I don't want to be loved the way such and such loves, because such and such is a crappy lover, treats me like shit most times, and I don't like the way I feel. When you can start to look at how does something make you feel, and if it doesn't make you feel amazing most of the times, it's probably because you're still stuck in the past. You haven't come to the present moment, and you're allowing somebody else and their stuff to be your stuff. It's very easy for me to say it. It's easy for lots of people to say what you should do in a situation, but actually carrying it out, that's where the difficulty comes in. I can help you with that through meditation, through thought prayer, and through yoga. Many teachers can help you, so you can find somebody. If you have a faith tradition, then perhaps somebody in that faith tradition can help you. But the first thing you have to do, the hard homework, is forgiving. Forgiving the person for not showing up in a way that you thought that they should, but forgiving yourself for being available for it. That's the harder part. If you're anything like me, you're very hard on yourself and very easy on people who just show up in life raggedy, but we're so hard on ourselves. I seem to have been the type of person that somebody could tell me what they're going to do 500 times, but if I didn't want them to do that, I would act like, no, that's not what they're going to do. They're going to do X, Y, and Z, and they're telling me, nope, I'm going to do this because I want to do what I want to do. And if you continue to do that, like I did, you get exactly what I got. Your feelings hurt over and over and over again until you get tired and recognize that that's not the love you want, that you're not a victim. Come out of victimhood. Stop living in your head of what you think things should be, or making this person out to be more than they really are. They're showing you who they are. Their actions are very consistent with who they are. You've just decided to try to make them somebody they don't even want to be themselves. Forgiveness is key. Forgiveness is the first thing that will unlock the door to you finding the life that you want. The second thing is releasing all of that stuff. Sometimes you can release it all and the person stays in your life, but oftentimes they have to go. Because you grow, they have to go. Very rarely do people grow together and recognize their infractions and decide, no, I want this person in my life, so I'm going to make these changes. Mostly because the things that they did came from their own brokenness and not yours. It's really not yours. It's not attached to you. It's not about you. It's just you are the magnet, because whatever is going on in you attracted that person to you. If you can think about that, sit down and meditate on how this all came to be. Not dwell in it and sit in it and stew in it, but just meditate on, why is the situation in my life? Why have I been in the same crappy relationship for more than 10 years? What am I doing? Why can't I see my level of toxicity in this? Why can't I let go? I know oftentimes there are children involved, so you say, well, I want to stay together for the children. But you're doing the children a disservice, and you're lying to yourself. You're not staying together for the children. You're staying together because you're codependent, because you're hurting the children. They would be better off seeing 2 single healthy homes than one married dysfunctional one. Or maybe if it's just one single healthy home, that's much more productive. Marriage and the way that it was set up is a dying entity. And it's mostly because if you go back and study why marriage even came about, you'll see that marriage came about because fathers needed to marry their daughters off because they weren't able to care for all the children that they had with their wives. So they married them off, but they wanted dowries for them. They wanted the children, they wanted money because they were giving their daughters away, and then in return the woman was getting a safe home. Well, now women make up so much of the workforce that we don't need somebody to give us away for a dowry. Now women can do just as much as men can do and definitely take care of themselves, so they don't need a man for that. Then you think about children. I do believe that children should have access to both parents. But if having access to both parents means that it's dysfunctional, they should be able to have access to them separately, not together. Blended families is a very tough one, and only the people in it can decide how that should work. But if it's not working for you, you have a right to say, this does not work for me. But you also have to then decide to walk away, because you cannot tell somebody else how they should handle blended families. That's not for you to do. It's for you to decide your role. At 52 years old, I've decided that I'm not going to let anyone or anything stand in the way of what makes me happy. I am going to be very self-centered, because the more self-centered I am, because of the type of person I am, the more world-focused I become. When I focus in on Tracy and do the things that make Tracy happy, then Tracy is able to take that and spread it out into the world. But if I'm unhappy, I can't give the world anything but more unhappiness. But when I'm self-centered, centering around the self and the soul, the higher self, not in a way that I'm saying I'm not sharing, I'm not, I'm going to just do whatever I want to do with whoever, but recognizing the consequences of that, taking responsibility fully for my own actions and not making anybody else responsible for me. I am responsible for me. The higher self is responsible for me. I made a choice not to ever have an argument with anybody else, because there's never a reason. I can always walk away. They can be right. I don't have to be right. Now that's one that's going to test me, but I'm going to do it. I am saying this to you because one thing I don't want to do is be someone that comes on, gives a good word, sounds really good, because I've been blessed with a beautiful voice and it's very melodic. So I don't want to be somebody that comes on and just giving all of these amazing tips that I've gotten from other spiritual people, because I believe that we are all connected, and then I go and live a different way. And that has been me in the past, not in a hypocritical way, but lots of times when I would talk, I was talking to myself, and I decided to share it because it could help someone, but then I would go back into dysfunctional relationships and patterns. Not anymore. I made a conscious choice that at 52 years old, I deserve to be happy. I'm a really kind and amazing soul. And in order to allow that kindness and that amazingness to flow through, I decided that I'm not going to allow myself to get caught up in anybody else's drama. There's no need to argue. There's no need to really just let people live. That is been working. And when it comes to social media, not having to comment on anything anybody says, because everybody has a right to feel whatever they feel. I of course will protect myself against attacks, but other than that, I can just let people live their life and be who they want to be. I have wonderful dreams and goals and ambitions, and in order to reach them, I've got to be self-centered. I had to do a lot of forgiveness. There's still forgiveness to do. I was broken for many years, and it was a self-breaking because it was all up in my head. All I had to do was walk away. I never had to let anybody in my 52 years do anything to me that I didn't want. Had a really blessed childhood, so I was safe. So everything, all of my brokenness appeared in my adulthood for the most part. I had things, of course, in my childhood that didn't make me comfortable, but the brokenness came as an adult. And I am not blaming anybody. I'm taking full responsibility. I allowed those people into my life. So because I allowed them into my life, I take responsibility for allowing what they brought into my life to exist for as long as it did, until I didn't want it to exist anymore. So that's all I really wanted to share with you. Those thoughts were coming through me through meditation, and I wanted to share it. Forgiveness. It is the biggest thing you can do for yourself. Not for the other person, it's for you. Because you can forgive people and walk away. And what you will find 100 times out of 100, when you give people back their stuff, they have to sort through it. You don't. And whatever's going to happen in their life is going to happen. Sometimes people do things to us and it seems like they never have what we call the get back, the kickback from it. I've come to understand that the universe has a bigger plan, and perhaps what the universe allowed to come through me was really for me, and they use that person to do it, so they don't get a lot of kickback from it, because they're not necessarily horrible people. They just did what needed to be done to help me get and grow to a higher level. Sometimes people are horrible people and do shitty stuff, and they will get theirs. If you just watch, I do know that sometimes it visits their children. Sometimes it visits people that they love, because they deserve to feel the hurt that they brought into your life, but it can't come through you because they really don't care about you. If you really think about it, if you're in a relationship and somebody is verbally abusive, emotionally abusive, physically abusive, or having affairs, they don't care about you. So you're not going to be able to get them back because you're not a thought to them. They're doing what they want to do when they want to do it, and you are not a thought. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to go slink in the corner. It means you have to take responsibility for yourself, your actions, and decide the best course of action for you. Only you know what that is, and you can intuitively know it. When people make fun of what you do, they're not in harmony with you. They don't like you. They really don't. I know it's hard to believe, but if you tell somebody that you're a pianist, and every time you all get into a fight, they make some type of joke about you being a pianist, they don't believe in you, and that's okay. You need to walk away from that person. If every time you tell them something you're doing, they bring it up in a negative way, they really don't like you. But here's the thing, they don't like themselves. Like I said earlier, when you don't like yourself, you can't like anybody else. I don't know if I said that earlier in this video, but I've said that before. They don't like themselves, so they can't like you. The best thing you can do for yourself is to walk away, forgive them. Perhaps they'll catch up later. Perhaps it's one of those things where they just need to be taught. But you're not going to teach people how to love you by loving all up on them while they're smacking you in your face. That's not going to teach them love. They're just going to keep sucking up your love and slapping you. But you can teach them how you expect to be loved by walking away and deciding what you're going to do with your life. And if they catch up, great. If they don't, great. I'm going to let you go. You have an amazing Sunday night. Thank you so very much. If you listened for 13 minutes, I'm just grateful. And if you didn't listen, I'm still grateful. Assalamu alaikum, namaste, hotep, shalom alaikum, peace out to Brooklyn and everywhere else.